Avatar: The Way of Water is directed once again by James Cameron. It stars Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, Kate Winslet, Sigourney Weaver, and Stephen Lang. And in the sequel, 13 years in the making, Jake Sully and his family travel to another tribe after a familiar but sadly evolved threat returns to Pandora. Now, if you watched my review of the first Avatar, I think last week at the time I'll be recording this, you'll know that I don't think it's a great film. I think the only reason it's got its money is because of the groundbreaking special effects. And I really wasn't looking forward to this film. Well, I wouldn't say I was not looking forward to it, but my expectations weren't really that high. I was really worried it was going to be boring and slow paced due to its massive over 3 hour runtime. And pretty much this film for me is basically on par with the original. If you're going to put a gun to my head and force me to say which one was better, I'd say this one is marginally better than the first one. But let's start off with the stuff I liked. Of course, the special effects. Yeah, this film looks beautiful. This is a big improvement over the first film. That's one thing I will say. This looks more visually beautiful. I saw this in 3D on a big IMAX screen, and boy, you are immersed into this world. And I also like that they do some really nice world building with Pandora. We're getting introduced to some more factions, more tribes in the world. And I think that's some nice world building leading into the other sequels as well. The cinematography, some of the shots in this are just, whoa, they take my breath away. And I do think visually, as I said, this is better than the original. Updated effects, great camera work. And I also heard that they did some stop motion CGI in the water as well. First time that's ever been done, by the way. And they had to do some really good CGI work with the water, which, if you didn't know, it's hard to do. You've seen the process it takes on YouTube. It's really hard to do. But man, that water looks so good. It looks so real. The whole world looks real. On a story aspect, though, the third act in this is just pure action. It is all adrenaline, no holding back, all stakes, just pure action. And boy, is it great. The choreography, for me, really stood out. There's one part where I think two guys get killed, and I just like that little tiny bit of choreography there. So the action in this was just adrenaline fluid. It was great. I could watch it. And in the cinema, when all the avatars are killing all the humans, we were cheering. We were going, get him, get him. It was a great experience. The film does have some really nice messages and themes as well. Mostly about, protecting your family. We must protect our oceans as well. Don't kill sea life and wildlife as a whole. Great messages to send, and why do not develop too well in this? I do think they are nice messages to send, and they do get across really well to an extent. And I do appreciate that there is some plot points here which try to develop some underdeveloped characters from the first one, like our bland Colonel villain. He is getting a little tiny bit of development here, but not much, and I'll get into that soon. And finally, the acting. While there is a few rocky performances, which I'll get into in a bit, of course, Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana have some fantastic chemistry. And I also think the newcomers like Kate Winslet, she did a great job in this as well. There's some decent acting with the children as well. So there is some very fine performances here which really do enhance these characters and your connection to them. But with the negative side of things, again, the story. This movie feels really overstuffed. It feels like there's way too much going off. And I think the main reason that is because, James Cameron's writing all these sequels and he wants to try to connect them each other and, try and evolve on them for the next film and save it for future sequels. And that is very obvious with the ending as well, which I'll get into in a bit. That will involve spoilers, so I'll let you know, don't worry. But yeah, this film did feel very overstuffed, but simple. And it is very strange to say that. Some plot lines are just dropped halfway through the movie, out of nowhere, just to introduce a new one. And it just felt really strange, really overstuffed. And sometimes I just wondered why it was there. There is a lot of filler in this, I will say. But some of our main characters are also dropped in this. Sam Worthington's character and Zoe Saldana's, they don't really have much to do here. I can understand the child, development. I understand I want to make us connect to them a bit more. But they don't do an amazing job with that. In fact, spoiler here. I'm going to get spoilers now. So skip to this if you want to skip spoilers. But one of their children does die in the third act. And, you expected to really care, but I don't know. I didn't really care about him. I didn't really get to know him as much, apart from that his father thinks he's his favourite son. That's it. So I didn't really connect to him as much. I didn't really feel anything when he died. I also hate the fact that they kept the villain alive. You know that I don't like this Colonel villain. And again, as I said, they tried to give him some development with his son, Spider, who is a fine character, I will say, even though his motivations don't really make sense. But he's fine, he's likable, you root for him. But with the villain, I just don't like this villain. He's bland, he's boring. I would totally prefer if they just leave him out and just make the entire human race the villain. That'll work so much better for me. Because it just makes us understand how bad of a species we are. But then we have to focus on this one random guy, and I don't know. We tried to make him sympathise with him, but it just never works for me, and I don't like it. And finally, I did say about some Rocky acting. I like Sigourney Weaver. I think she's great in the first film. I think she's a great actress. But in this, she tries to do like a child sort of voice, and it just never works. So many times you can tell she just slips, and it felt so weird. But I think she's tried her best, of course, and there is some nice scenes in there as well with her character. So overall, Avatar: The Way of the Water, for me, it's not worth 13 years of wait. It's pretty much on par, yet marginally better than the first film. Visually, it's much better. They do try to get some nice development. They send some good messages and create some nice themes. The action, the third act, is just adrenaline. The acting is mostly good, so there is some stuff to like here, but an overstuffed plot, again, a bland villain, and some rocky acting is just what keeps this movie down for me. And again, I'm going to give it the same rating as the first Avatar, 6.5 out of 10. So, if you're a fan of the first Avatar, I think you'll really like this sequel. But for me, I'm not really holding my breath for anything groundbreaking in the next films. But guys, that is it for the end of this review. Next time, we're just going to do a little bit of 2022 catch-up. Just review some films which came out early in the year, which I might have missed, and I want to review. So, make sure to look out for that. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to let me know what you thought of Way of the Water in the comments. Have a good day, and see you later.